So Stanislav, how you doing, man?
Good, good.
So the question that I have for you is because you're obviously really involved in the community, so you know what it is to build a community. Um, do you think that the arts fulfill any function in that process? And whether they do or not, do you think that the arts are important for a community? And if they are, how?
Okay. Well, yes, for both of the questions. Um, they are important. Arts, it's important as probably is the blood in our bodies when compared to the bones and muscles. So it's um, it's the juice that kind of makes us human, that makes us people. Um, is it important for a community? Probably on the same way as much as the blood important for a body. The arts is important for a community, uh, for a community as a, I don't know, gathering of different individuals. It works the same way. Um, Kind of taps into the intangible with us, the stuff that we can't really, um, they're not easily describable. Um, I don't know, to quote Peter Dale Scott, actually to paraphrase what he said, says, well, as a social scientist, um, there's always a limit to in terms of what we can describe. And there are certain things in our societies that we can't really use the regular words and regular terms to describe them. And what we do then, we write poetry about it. And only on that level, like, I don't know.
So how would the arts be useful as a tool to the everyday practical man, you know, the guy that's going to his 9 to 5 job, sitting at a desk. But I mean, these people do have scenarios where they have to be creative, right? Like, so how do the arts benefit, for example, a corporate executive or a government worker or
Makes them more human. Uh, I mean, you can go and, I don't know, build one side of yourself. I don't know, you can go to the gym and lift weights. I don't know, 6 hours a day, every day, and you can build a lot of muscle. But does that mean that you are a, I don't know, better person or more of a person than somebody who doesn't do that? Like, if that's the only thing that you do, if you just go and eat some protein and lift weights, you turn yourself into a muscle. If you are just the executive who goes to work every day and, I don't know, look at I don't know, logistic models and inputs and outputs and looking at the profits, does that make you more of a person? Well, you have to kind of, I think, cherish certain parts of ourselves. That oftentimes, I mean, in this society, those you can't really say that arts. It's like the most prominent thing in the world, and I think the mass consumption has taken a lot of it out of that creativity. But I think,
yeah, why do you think there
well,
is the rise
creativity,
of
it's on that level. It's really important. It's the key to kind of to makes us who we are, to makes us better people, more complete people, not better. Let's say complete. And I mean, if you wanna like specific examples, how arts and artistic expression benefits, I don't know, the community at large. Of I don't know. Uh, Always I can talk about the calendar, community calendar, which is actually conglomeration of different artists and their works coming together and putting something rather amazing together. And you can see that the reactions of the of the people throughout the city, not just here in the community.
So what exactly was the community calendar again?
Well, it was a group of residents kind of came together and said, okay, what's the best way to promote our community? And our community is not really um, the most popular, and generally is known for known for the arts and local artists and stuff like that. So we said, okay, let's change that a little bit. So we came together, put together essentially with no money. We put it together like a professionally looking selection of artworks, all produced by the people who live here in the community.
Very cool.
And it was awesome. And we used it, like we sold it, we gave it away. It was probably the most popular thing. And even now, like a couple of years later, people still remember. And they talk about the calendar, and it's good. It's good. It's I think the brighter side
That's
of
it.
our living.
You know, that's interesting, is because I was thinking that now, we have something like the TV or films, and the communication is in one direction. But we are people that are using the internet now, where all the communication is two-way. Like when you read a news story, you're able to make comments at the bottom that are readable by everybody, who can then respond to what you write. So it's a very interactive way of being that we're becoming used to.
Yeah.
And your community calendar, like by engaging the local artists and having the community taking pride in it, you did something that was more along the lines of the way people are thinking now, that more of an interactive... The community is actually invested in the calendar.
It was a point of dialogue, yeah. And I mean, then what kind of dialogue is getting created now? Instead of people saying, well, you know what, your area, there was a shooting, or there's a shooting probably twice a year, somebody killed this or somebody killed that, somebody stole this, somebody stole that. Now people, at least they're starting to dialogue about the fact, okay, so there's a so-and-so lives. I didn't know so-and-so lives in that area. I checked her or his stuff
Yes.
on internet, and it looks awesome. And I mean, that kind of dialogue kind of creates different
Well, more pride, I imagine.
outcomes. Not necessarily pride. I don't know. I'm always cautious.
Or
of
self-respect,
using
maybe?
self-respect. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
closer to
I think
what I
that's-
would
yeah.
think. I think people are more kind of content by the fact that they live where they live.
Yes.
Before they would say, well, you know what? Let me tell you, I live near something.
Yes.
I don't know. So
That's cool, man.
that's a little bit different. I don't know if I answered your question. So
Yes,
I'm
you did.
really